In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn your fat-free cheese from this to this. And this is all due to the power of sodium citrate. So if you watched the last video, we used sodium citrate to make this creamy, amazing mac and cheese. And then I saw some comments and some DMs actually that were asking, can we use this on pizza, or how would we use this on pizza? And I was really intrigued by the question, so I set out and I tried it out, and here is what happened.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mina. I'm a culinary school grad and a former professional cook, and usually you see me in the kitchen, but it's really hot today, so we're just gonna be talking from right here. And today we're gonna be talking about sodium citrate yet again. I'm gonna show you how to make a pizza with it, or melt the cheese that goes on a pizza with it.
So this is gonna be very similar to the last video when we made the cheese sauce for the mac and cheese. You're gonna need water or some kind of a liquid. You can also use milk if you want to cream your cheese sauce. And then you need your cheese of choice. Here I have the fat-free because I wanted to prove to you that this can be done with fat-free cheese. And then you need a scale that can measure out grams accurately, and your sodium citrate. In terms of amounts, it's gonna be the same ratio. So this is all about ratios, not necessarily amounts. So we're looking for 100% of water or liquid, or we're looking for 100% of cheese, and then we're looking for 2% sodium citrate by weight of the cheese. So in this case, I used 100 grams of water and 100 grams of cheese, and 2% of the weight of the cheese is 2 grams, because 2% of 100 is 2. So to make your sauce here, we're gonna do the same steps. You're gonna put your sodium citrate in water, and you can use a whisk to mix it up, but I just have a hand blender, so I'm gonna use the hand blender because it just mixes better than a whisk. Next, you want to put that pot on the fire. You just want it on a very low simmer. You don't want this to boil. It's not a big deal if it does boil, but you just want it on a low simmer. So normally when I would be adding cheese here, I would add it in stages, in 2 to 3 stages. But since this was only 100 grams of cheese, I figured why not? Let me try to just dump it all in there and see what would happen. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared at first. I didn't think it was gonna come together, but after blending it for a few seconds, it came together and made the cheese sauce that I was looking for. If you have a whisk, I don't know if this would work out the same way, so just make sure that you put it in stages, or if you dump all the cheese in there, just be ready to whisk extremely hard to get all the cheese in there. But as you can see, it all emulsified at the end and was just fine. From here, you have 2 options. If you want to use it right away, you can just put it on top of your pizza or whatever that you want to melt cheese on. And typically the way I would do this is just drip it on there, and then I would put this in the oven. And for the purpose of this experiment, I just used some bread with some tomato sauce and put the cheese on top of it. And the other side is just the untreated fat-free cheese. The second option is if you don't want to use it right away and you want to store it for later use, that's also absolutely fine. Just put it in some kind of a container, let it cool down a little bit, and then you can store it in the fridge to use it whenever you want to use your fat-free cheese. This is just a better way to use it. And then to use it, you just have to open up the container, scoop yourself a little chunk of that cheese, and put it on whatever you want. So here, that little chunk of cheese is just gonna melt everywhere once we put it in the oven, and it's gonna look exactly like it did when it was in the pot. I'm not even gonna lie, the consistency and the color of this though kind of gets me. It's not the most pleasant, but it does work.
This is the regular, no sodium citrate. It just has the rubberiness to it. It tastes exactly the same. The only thing that's not the same is just the texture of the cheese. The sodium citrate one is creamier, actually has the texture of melted cheese, not hard, burnt. I mean, you could clearly see the difference. So I think if you're gonna use fat-free cheese, it's worth taking this extra step and melting the cheese beforehand and then putting it on your pizza.
While doing all this, I also noticed that fat-free cheese doesn't really brown in the same way that regular cheese does. And I left it in there until pretty much the bread was burning, and the cheese just didn't do anything. The cheese would burn before it would brown.
And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed anything, if you learned anything in today's video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you want to see next in videos. I look at all your recommendations. I keep a list of all your recommendations. So let me know there. And don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you make any of my recipes. I'd love to see what you guys are making. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.